I am Matthew Shack, and you're listening to The Flow Sports Radio Show. Well, the Cleveland Cavaliers just made history, and they won it in dramatic fashion by being the first team in NBA history to ever win a world championship after trailing the series 3-1 with a 93-89 victory over the Golden State Warriors in an epic Game 7. First things first, I got to say this. That was the greatest basketball game I have ever seen in my life. It was an amazing game. It was what everybody wanted. They wanted a game that was going to be close. They wanted a game that can sway either way. And the last count that I took, there had been like 18 different lead changes in the game. It was amazing to see those guys go at it the way they went at it. And whoever won at the end, I was going to give them their props. And in this case, it was the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, I said from episode 1 that if LeBron James was able to get this done, he would solidify himself as a top 5 NBA player. Repeat after me. LeBron James is the greatest small forward in the history of the NBA, and he is a top 5 player. Now, I know that hurt a lot of people's feelings, man. But, as the great Cam Newton has always said, they don't have Band-Aids for feelings. That man went out there and imposed his will on Golden State. He imposed his will, and he got what he came to get. He lifted up an entire state, not a city, a state. There has been no championships professionally between the Cleveland Indians, between the Cavaliers, between the Cleveland Browns, and let's not forget Cincinnati is also in Ohio. They haven't won. So that whole state has been waiting since 1964 to have something to celebrate. So not only did he lift up Cleveland, Ohio, he lifted up the entire state. One man did that on his own, and he put himself on Front Street when he came back and said, I came back to win a championship for my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, by way of Akron. Last year, he came up short, and everybody laughed at him. Everybody looked at him like he was Boo Boo the Fool. This year, he was looking like Boo Boo the Fool again because he was down 3-1, and 32 teams have tried and 32 teams have failed. But guess what? He believed in himself. And unless you're just a person who just doesn't have any type of compassion for anybody who works their behinds off and anybody who strives for greatness and pulls off the impossible. Let's get that out the way. What he just accomplished tonight was impossible. Nobody put their money on that unless they're just a gambler or they really was riding with LeBron. Nobody gave him a shot. None of the experts gave him a shot. Everybody thought this was over 3 games ago. But I'm going to sit right here and give that man his props, man, because I called it. I told you what would happen if Golden State kept playing games. Now, Golden State, you guys had an amazing season, man. There was a lot of excitement. For full contrition, I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, for those who may not know. And I know how important that was to the area where I'm from and where I was raised and where I come from. But at the end of the day, you can't just mail in a championship. You can't just expect to win and just show up. I've said it before. People have to perform. People have to show up. And on any given Sunday that just so happens to be Father's Day, that wasn't accomplished by Golden State. The will of the Cleveland Cavaliers was stronger than strength in numbers. All in was all in. Because I'll even say it to myself that there was times in the game I said, this is over. Golden State got this. And they just kept coming back. Now, I had a few people tell me, how are you going to say Draymond Green's the MVP of Golden State? I just showed you tonight. He's the MVP. 32 points, damn near triple-double, was 5 of 5 from threes in the first half. The man was on fire, man. But guess what happened at the second half? Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors went against what was working. You should have kept giving the ball to him, because the two-time unanimous MVP in the fourth quarter was 1 of 6. And he was 1 of 5 from three-point land. He was just shooting threes. He was trying to go for the dagger. It's like somebody being in the ring and they're trying to go for the knockout punch while the other team is just accumulating points. You better get a knockout if you're going for the knockout. And it didn't happen. Another thing that was Golden State's problem was the matchup of Kyrie Irving being guarded by Steph Curry. I said it 2 games ago. Putting Steph on the person who has the best handle in the league was a mistake. And that dagger 3, when Kyrie hit that dagger 3 in the fourth quarter when they really needed it, that is exactly what I was talking about, man. Kyrie was able to elevate over Steph because they're the same height. You needed to have like a Iggy or somebody else on him. LeBron did not hit a outside jumper outside of the 3 he hit in the second half. He was absolutely cold from shooting from the perimeter. But he was going to the basket and he just started using his IQ. The thing about LeBron James that makes him the greatest small forward of all time, we're going to have to start getting used to saying that. LeBron haters, I told you, if he gets this done, you're going to have to start erasing some of that stuff off, man. And as promised, I'm going to provide you with an eraser. Here's your eraser. Reach through the computer screen or your phone or wherever you listen to this show at and grab this eraser that I'm giving you to erase some of the stuff off the board that y'all got a problem with, because you're going to have to do it. He's not 2 and 4. You're going to have to create some new memes. He's 3 and 4. But that win was important because he did something that nobody else did. My hat comes off to Tyronn Lue, man. I gave you a hard time, my brother. I really didn't like the way you was coaching, homie. I didn't think you was coaching at all. But then when you guys came in on game 5, I started seeing you getting your coach on, bro. I started seeing you get your tail off the bench. I started seeing you actually working the refs. I started seeing you get into it. Game 5, you was handling your business. Game 6, you started making that rotation, man. And you did something that I would not have done. I would not have put Kevin Love back in there in a game 7. I wouldn't have did it because he didn't do anything offensively, but he had 12, 13 rebounds and he provided a force inside. That's what it was, getting those second chance points. Now, he's not the greatest in transition, but he was handling business. He kept a lot of things alive, man. So I guess that 120 million came in handy. Kyrie Irving, what can you say, man? The boy is a baby assassin. That cat right there, him and LeBron, I didn't think they'd be able to coexist, man. But winning cures all, and I think they're gonna be cool. They need to handle a little bit of whose team it's gonna be, and eventually LeBron's gonna have to turn over the reins to Kyrie because Kyrie is the next man up. Now, let's get this out the way right now. The Golden State Warriors are not the greatest team ever. They have the greatest regular season record. They surpassed the 95-96 Chicago Bulls by 1 game, but you didn't get the ring. So you can't be the greatest. All that talk from Klay Thompson talking about, we're better than the Showtime Lakers. No, you're not. Because at the end of the day, you have to walk away with the ring. You guys are a great team, and I say you guys are the odds-on favorite to win the championship next year. But there was a lot of cockiness and a lot of lack of respect for your opponent. And as the great Bruce Lee says, always keep your eyes on your opponent, even when you bow. And y'all didn't do that. So just take that season, charge it to the game. It's no better than the New England Patriots who went 18-0 and went into the Super Bowl against Eli Manning and lost it. It's the same thing. You're not the greatest team of all time if you don't win the championship at the end. But good season, though. I enjoy watching you guys. But Cleveland just had that on them. They had that glow. Like Bruce Leroy, they had that glow on them. And you just have to understand, man, you can never count out someone's heart. You can hate a man till you're blue in the face, but you got to stop him. So congratulations to LeBron James, who also was the MVP for the 3rd time. And you're on Mount Rushmore, homie. It's it. Anybody who talks about LeBron now, you're just a certified hater. You're just a hater of LeBron. You can't be now saying, I don't like LeBron, but because he didn't do this. Now the but is gone. So guess what? Now you just have to own the fact you don't like the man, period. Which is what you should have been doing anyway. That's how it works, fellas, ladies. Great season. But I'm hella happy it's football season. I'm so sick of basketball, man. I could just hit my head up against the wall. It's football season now. It's NFL. And the Flow Sports Radio Show got a lot to say about it. Until then, game on. Game on.